Hello, hello. Is this working? I don't know if it's working. I don't know if it's working. Okay, it looks like it's working. Oh, I think it's working. It's working on Twitch. It's working on YouTube. Okay, look at that. That's amazing. All right, so I will give everybody just a few minutes to get acclimated since we're in two places, and then we'll get going. Hello. Hey, King Hammer, thanks for being here. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. Yes, please hit the like button. We're figuring out this dual streaming thing out. I think it's working. I think it's working. I'm just trying to figure out where I can see you. Oh, okay. I see Raina on Twitch and King Hammer and Judy on YouTube. Okay, this is pretty cool. I like this. All right. So this is what we're going to be doing on Thursdays. And it probably will be late night like this. But it will be in this format. So I know usually when I'm on Twitch, I am very quiet and don't speak at all. And then when I'm on YouTube, you can see me and um it's more, fun and social. So we're gonna do in between. We'll do an in between on Thursdays. Hi Josh. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Okay. This is cool. Oh yeah, is it Friday? Oh yeah, it's Friday for some of you. But we will probably be here late night. Late night. Hi, cousin V. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. It's so funny. I'm so used to being able to talk to you and see on have you see me? I am waving, just so you know. I am waving. Okay. So, as we're getting started, the if you go to my link tree, there should be a pinned link in the chat. Or you could use the QR code that's up in that top left-hand corner. But if you go there, there is a place where you can start putting in your lyrics for our lyric wheel. So what the lyric wheel is we will collect songs and lyrics that relate to our word of the week, and then we'll spin it and we'll see what the universe tells us we need to use to get more understanding. So, certainly go in there. You can put in as many lyrics as you want. We focus on hip hop around here, but you can certainly put in any kind of music, any kind of lyrics. And so this week, our word of the week is community. So all throughout the stream, the live, you can be putting things into that form, and then at the end, we will spin that wheel and see what else we can add to the conversation. So, oh, that's great. You woke up with lyrics, huh? So you ready, huh? That's great. Good night, Rena. Thanks for dropping in. I'm so glad to hear that you are feeling better and doing better. That's wonderful. All right, so this is very different for me, being able to talk to you, but not have you see me? Like I said, it's an in between. So this week, our word is community. And this series is really focused on trying to help us redefine some of these terms that we use quite often and that are shaping our realities. We make contracts and agreements with our words. And so we want to make sure that we know the terms of those agreements. And so we want to make sure that we understand what these definitions are. So, what we'll start with is let's just look at the word itself, and then we can start digging into um, like some of the origins or where it comes from. Well, that is the origin, or what some of the definitions are. Okay, so let's go over to the whiteboard and we'll put our word up here. Community. And I have been getting a lot of messages for um, oh, there should be a pinned link. If you don't see it, actually, let me see if I can get it into the Twitch chat. The, I know it is in the YouTube chat, but let me see if I can make sure it's in the Twitch chat. Um, okay, very odd hearing myself. It's very weird hearing myself. Hi, Russell. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. Uh, yeah, I think I am on Twitch and YouTube both right now. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Judy. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait, I might have closed it too soon. Might have got too excited that I got it to work and then closed it before the pin stayed. Let me make sure. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. Yes. Okay. So you can go to that, either the pin linked, or you can go to the QR code and you can put in all of your lyrics that relate to community. So, like, I know there's a couple of songs that are very much focused on community, and the whole title is community or something like that. Um, but we want lyrics specifically because that will help us with our definitions. You could put in as many lyrics as you want, Josh. So you can take multiple lyrics from those two songs and put in as many in as you want. Um, because it won't be till the end that we will spin the wheel and see what lyrics we're going to use to help inform us. And I'll remind you along the way to put more in. Because also, if you think of a lyric or are reminded of a lyric while we are chatting about our word, then you can go and put it right in there. All right. This is very strange. It's gonna take a while for me to get used to it. So for anybody that just came in, um, on Thursdays for at least the next 23 weeks. Um, this is what I'll be doing. It'll be pretty late night, so you might have to watch the replay. Um, but we'll have a forum and collect lyrics every single week on one word. We're just gonna focus on one word. I I think I am, Cousin B. I think I'm on Twitch too. I think I'm in both places. It took me I put in a lot of work to try and be able to dual stream, so hopefully it's working. But I'll only be dual streaming on Thursdays. Like this I can't do more than once a week on this. Okay. So, um, let's see. Do I think we should start because this is our first time looking at this. I want to start with a little bit of information. And actually, we should start with our statement. So let me stop getting so excited that I forget what I'm doing and get our statement up. And so we can open the space and set our intentions. Let me do that first. Okay, there we go. So here is our starting screen. Let me see. All right, so we're gonna open up the space for our conversation. So welcome to Vibrant Numerals. Welcome to my sacred temple opportunity space. Welcome to healing with laughter, joy, peace, contemplation, and discomfort. Welcome to Vibrant Numerals. Okay, that was fun. All right, so now we'll go to our whiteboard. Now that we're opened up properly. Properly. It's a funny word. Anyway. So where this series came from is on July 7th, and I think I spoke to a couple of you about this, and I think we saw it come up in our live on Twitch yesterday. But on July 7th um, is when we had Neptune go retrograde in Aries. So it's Neptune in Aries. And we're not going to break this all down. I just want you to be able to know what this energy is and uh, kind of the focus of what we're doing. Retrograde. And this retrograde will go from July 7th, so it's already gotten started a couple days ago, and it'll go all the way until December 12th. And so Neptune is the planet of illusion and disillusion and dreams. But just like with, oh, I meant to put dreams here. Just like with any energy or vibration, this energy of illusion it's neutral. So it encompasses everything positive and also everything that could possibly be negative from any perspective. And so when we think about illusion or dreams, it's building up or putting you in an illusion or a dream state, but it's also dissolving it. And so, especially right now, um, Neptune is doing a lot of work to begin to dissolve the illusions. It's pulling back the curtain so we all see that the wizard is just a man. Because Everything they say about me is true. Oh man, that's funny. And then Aries means that it's all about identity. So it's the dreams, um, but also the illusions we have around who we are. Um, it's okay. Homework is fine, Josh. It's good. It's good for you. Um, so these are the Neptune in Aries is all about these illusions around identity. And Neptune just recently moved into Aries, and it'll actually be there for a good 12 years. And so we're going to have 12 years of getting some clarity on what are some of these illusions around our identity, but also the identity of other people. It's like masks will be lifted and we will see the truth of who people are. And so, right now, with Neptune in retrograde, it means that energy is it's moving in not really the opposite direction, but in a different direction that is focusing more on our internal definitions and our internal work around identity and our own illusions of who we are. Yes, a good 12 years. And so this time period is when we are going to be looking at these different definitions and seeing how the definitions of these words are either adding to the dreams that we have for ourselves and our identity, or are an illusion that need to be broken down and are wreaking havoc or causing some issues with our identity. So, is it an illusion? Is it a dream we want to build up, or is it an illusion that we need to break down? And so that's where this, my word is bond, has come from. Especially knowing that also the last time Neptune was in Aries was in the 1860s. And it was 1865 when we officially say, like, that's the official date of Juneteenth that is accepted in the United States of America, of when all of the enslaved people in the South were freed and in the colonies. So the last time Neptune was in Aries was when our country and the people within the United States and really throughout the world had these big, huge shifts of who they were, how we saw and valued people. Um, and some of the illusion of grandeur was falling away. And I think we see some of that already happening, where now you're seeing where people that believed themselves privileged are now finding out sometimes they are FAFO. But anyway, they are finding out that these feelings of privilege and grandeur is actually illusion and it's falling away. So that okay. I think that's all the background stuff. That's all the background stuff. I do expect this to be different than how I do Twitch, but different than how I do YouTube. So we'll just see. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out how to make this work. But it will always be late night. Um and more of a discussion. So not you just discussing with yourself in Twitch because I'm not really saying anything. And not me talking the whole time like in YouTube, but combination of the two. All right. I think we're good to go. All right. Josh, you were able to get into that link and start putting your lyrics in there? Everybody else was able to get in there if you have some lyrics to put in? I think it's good. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Um, Great. All right, so let's start looking at this word community. So it has been actually, wow, at least 2 years where I've been getting a lot of messages around this shift of going back to community. So let's look at what these vibrations are. But also, I think you've heard me say it that I don't, even though I know community is important and it's becoming even more important, I don't know for sure that we actually know what community is. And so that's why this is the first word that I chose, or that the universe chose for us. So we're using our little code of A equals 1 all the way to Z equals 26. And so community is 3 plus 15 plus 13 plus 13 plus 21 plus 14 plus 9 plus 20 plus 25. And so what we first want to look at, because each one of those letters is carrying a vibration. And these are the vibrations that we connect with when we begin to define what these terms mean and um, put them into practice. And so with this word community, we have, we can see that we have several threes here. So three threes, where three is the vibration of growth. So in this community space, we should feel like we are able to grow in ways that we couldn't grow alone. We also see that we have 1, 2, 3, four of these ones, and ones are all, oh no, five of these ones. Five ones, and one is all about new energy. So new energy coming in and out. And so that gives a lot of that combination of growth with the threes with the movement of the one, where it's new energy coming in. And new energy can be new ideas, new thoughts, new behaviors, but also new people. And so that the growth, which is both inward and outward, so it's getting bigger and getting smaller, along with the new energy moving in and out of the space, is what is giving this word community its movement and its life. It's giving it um so it is like a living vibration, and it's not just stagnant. Because if we had, so we do have we have 1 9 here. 9 is more of a stagnant vibration because it's about ending cycles. So it's bringing things to an end. So it doesn't, it moves, but it doesn't move as much or as fast as these ones or the threes. Those move much faster. We also have fives here. We have two, oh, let me use a different color. We have two fives here. And these fives are all about change. So they move, they have some movement to them, but at a much slower pace. Kind of the same thing with the twos, where if you think about when a change is happening, it's not very often that that change is very quick. Even if it seems like it's quick, there's a lot of things that are happening behind it before that change is actually happening. And so it's actually a pretty slow moving vibration. We also have a slower moving vibration in this 1-4 because 4 is about foundations and stability. So we want that to be slower. We don't want our foundation to be moving and changing very often. But it's good to see that in this vibration of the word community, we have a lot of movement. So it feels living, it feels alive. There's growth in these threes. There's a lot of energy coming in the form of people and ideas and ways of life and behavior with the ones. But we do have the 4 here for stability. And we do have the fives here for change. So, meaning that the community is able to change and evolve. It's just probably going to happen at a slower pace, which most change does. So, that's not surprising. The other thing that I think we need to just pay attention to before looking at all of these vibrations together is these twos. So we have 1, 2, 3 twos. Now, twos are all about ending divisions. It's ending polarity. It's ending any dualism that's happening within this community space. But to have the two, that means that you have to have division at some point. And so I think it's important to see here that this two is still a pretty dominant vibration here, meaning that there's quite a bit of opportunity for divisions to occur. But if those divisions can um, be able to occur to feed into the growth of the community, to feed into the foundation of the community, then great. But if you get too many of these divisions, um, then that's where you don't have enough of this two energy to actually end those divisions, and you get communities that begin to break off. Like there's always people coming and going out of a community space, um, but you don't want there to be so many divisions that then it's no longer a community. And if you look, all of these twos are found. So it's the 21 of the U, the 20 of the T, and the 25 of the Y. So all of these twos are found here in unity. So we actually have the word unity here in community. And unity is the vibration 89. And so 89 and having that unity is ending these divisions so that you can have these cycles that are going in place. But using that 9 energy to end any of these cycles. And cycles are like they are the thoughts, ideas, behaviors of the group of a whole, that any of those that aren't helping the community, not helping to build the community, not helping the individuals within the community, then those need to shift and change. And we do have that 5 energy here to help the community be able to make those changes, to end those divisions and really be solidified in the unity portion of community. So if we look here, so down here, this part is where we're getting unity. So the 21 plus 14 plus 9 plus 20 plus 25 is giving us our 89. And so then if we're thinking about like how are we defining unity? How do we see the community being able to come together in a unity kind of way? Um, the other part of this is, I need a different color. I just used them all. This part, so this first part, chameleon. Okay, see, I don't need to sing while I'm doing this. And this is probably some of the stuff you may hear very softly when I'm on YouTube, but I'm sure you can hear it quite loud now because there's no music playing and I'm closer to the mic. But anyway, so this first part is 3 plus 15 plus 13 plus 13. And if you see here, this first part of the word is where we are seeing all of these growths of the threes and a lot of the ones. So we have this second half. Yeah, you got it, Josh. So we have this second half where we have the 9 of ending the cycles. We have the foundation of the community. So the foundation that is important and have to stand on for the growth to happen. We have this ending energy here, but we also have change in both places. So we have change with the 5 here at the end, and then we have change here with the 5 over here from the O. And so we do have the possibility of changing in 2 different ways. This side, this green side, adds up to 44. So while this 89 is the numeric vibration of the word unity, this 44 is the numeric vibration of the word hope. And it's the numeric vibration of the word faith. And so we can see that within this vibration of community, where we're starting to see just the natural vibration of this word, and remembering that we come up with these words, like we put things into words to try and describe what we are experiencing around us. And so community is supposed to be a unity in a hope and in a faith. That's also why we see a lot of communities that are joined around the same set of beliefs, the same faiths. Yes, Judy. Lots of 5s here for you. Um, and so I think it's really interesting to be able to just even see how these vibrations are already starting to help us to see how this is defined. When we add this together, so when we do the 44 plus the 89, or we add all of the letters up, both of them, equal 133. And so then this is the vibration of the word as a whole. But you can see that while we have this 33 here, where it's making the vibration and the energy of growth feel very amplified and big, where we would want this community to be able to grow and bring in new energy with the one. We have to look deeper in and understand that in order for the community to be able to grow, it has to have a solid foundation within the definition of its vibrational self. So, just like how we have our life path number based on our birthday, and we have our names, either our given names, but also the names that we use most regularly, both of these add to the core of who we are, our core vibrations. And so then every vibration, even within a word, has its core vibrations. What are the vibrations within it? And so then that's when we can look at what are the vibrations and the energy that each one of these letters is bringing to the whole. So I think it's really interesting to be able to see that if you are just interacting with the word community on the surface, that you would probably feel this amplified feeling of growth, like you want it to grow and be bigger. And that gives comfort because the uh, 33 adds up to a 6, which is comfort, and you want it to be open in a way where it welcomes in new energy. So, not just new people, but also like new ideas, new ways of doing things, new thoughts, um, new behaviors. And so, if we just look at the surface, this is kind of what we get. Me see if there's anything else before we start defining in. Okay. So, one thing that's coming up, because next what we'll do is we'll start looking at some definitions of community and see what vibrations we're getting on there. Because what happens is we have this vibrational core of what this word is and what it was meant to represent. But then when we have our own experiences and our interactions with that word, just like with people, we add in another vibrational layer. So we'll look at some of that as well. Um, so something that is coming up is to, interesting. Okay, is to look at the difference between community and the word cult. What in the world? Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. And so if we look at the word cult, I guess it's because we got lots of cults going on right now in our spaces. But if we look here, we have the 3 of the C, just like in community. Then we have 21, so we do have the energy of 2 and 1. Then we have 12 with the L, and then we have a T with 20. And so oh, okay. That makes sense. So what's happening here is the difference is where you see where we have these vibrations of the 2 which are very dominant, which means that there's a very dominant energy within here of ending division. But in this case, this is the ending division is like keeping people out. um, or keeping people in. It's putting up these boundaries to try and not have division, but in actuality, you're creating more division by doing that. And so, um, okay. Yeah, I guess that's an important thing to look at. Oh, especially because when we add this up, so when we add up these letters, we get 56, where 56 is the vibration of the word light, but also the um, word healing. And so thinking about how it could be, um, the difference between a cult and a community really is where the members sit in that space. Where in a cult, you usually have one high up person that is considered the light. They're considered the savior. They're considered the prophet of it all. And they tend to offer healing. Oh, hi, Doc. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Um, and so we have to be aware that even though um, we feel very strongly these vibrations of the three and the one, and wanting to end the divisions with the two in within our main word of community, um, we could feel that other places, and we just have to be aware. Be aware of the differences. The other thing that's coming up. Hi, Ron. Hi, thanks for being here. Um, this might, okay, there's more coming in. So this might bring up some more lyrics. So you might want to get ready because the word that is coming up to look at next is loyalty. Um, because in both of these spaces, both if you are in a community, but also if you're in a cult, one of the things that's very important is this loyalty. And this vibration of loyalty, I'm just gonna let me just do it real quick, but it's 12 plus 15 plus 25 plus 1 plus 12 plus 20 plus 25. Um, oh, okay, that's interesting. So loyalty adds up to 110. And 110 is also the numeric vibration in English of the word purpose. So, where you are expected to have some level of loyalty um, within a community and loyalty to the community and to the growth and the movement of new ideas and new behaviors within the community, that is some of what can give purpose. Um, oh, wow. But if we take okay, so now I'm seeing why we needed to look at this. Um, so then if we take, let's move this here. So then if we take loyalty, loyalty. If we do loyalty of 110 plus cult of 56, we get 166. If we do the word the plus the word community, we also get 166. So this is why we needed to look at them both. Because as we are looking at um, the definition of community and thinking about how it defines who we are and how we do things and how we move within the world, we have to be aware that there could be a point where our level of loyalty can turn into being a cult. Well, no, thank you. But I think we've seen, I think we could look around us, especially in this day and time, and not just in the United States, but really around the world. You can see some of these like cult followings where the level of loyalty and belonging um, has turned into more of that parasocial cult-like behavior. And so it's important for us to keep in mind what are those differences. That's a good one, Josh. For anybody on YouTube, Josh said over on Twitch, this breakdown is becoming a cult classic. Yeah, that was a good one. So, okay, so yeah, so as we're looking at the definition and these vibrations of this word community, and what are the pieces that would go into us being able to define what the borders of that community are, we have to also keep in mind that all of these vibrations are neutral. And so that means that at any time, they can go off the rails into a whole different direction. And so that's, I think, really interesting to think about that, of how being part of a community and having that sense of community and belonging um, could turn into an issue. Um, and thinking about what that actually means. So let's actually go into, I'll pull up a browser and let's just start looking at a couple of definitions of community. If there's anybody that has a strong definition of community that they want to share in the chat, please do, because we'll take some of that information and add it to um, digging into this word um, and making sure that when we use it, it's being used in a way that is defining what we really mean and what it really should be. Because the other thing is I don't like our words have changed so much. I don't know that we can rely on thinking that we all are defining them in the same way, that we all believe that community is the same thing, and that our contributions to community are um, have the same set of expectations, or what would be considered being part of the community and what is not. So let's look at community definition. So a community is a group of people connected by a shared geography, beliefs, interests, or identity. Oh yeah, you're right, Josh. It has been. Yeah, big topic of like how are we defining things. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And so one thing that I'm seeing here, and what I'll do is I will grab us a screenshot to take back over. We're not going to go back over yet, but I'll grab a couple of screenshots for us to be able to break down some of this. So, but the word identity is right here, where it's a group of people connected by shared geography, beliefs, interest, or identity. And we just saw that identity is tied strongly to that Aries energy, where we have Neptune has now gone retrograde in Aries. And so that sense of community and identity is huge. Um, yeah. And how we're defining things. Yeah, you're right. Josh has been coming up quite a bit. And yeah, and accountability and like how are you accountable not only to yourself and the identity that you're bringing to your spaces, but are you accountable to your contributions or your lack of contributions, whether perceived as positive or negative, to the community as a whole? And I think that all goes back to that definition. So the etymology, the core meaning, it says, the word originates from the Latin communitas, from com meaning together, and munis meaning gift or obligation. Now that's interesting because the together makes sense. But then to have this second part of the word be either gift or obligation, that's weird. Um, but it does make sense where we could start having this um, sense of, do I owe something to the community? And is that different than giving a gift to the community and, you know, being part of the community? Like, what's that difference? What's the difference of being together and contributing to the community's um, benefits of all versus feeling obligated to do it? Like, you can't be part unless you are giving. So then it says, at its core, community means sharing together and applies a sense of mutual responsibility and fellowship. So that's, I think, where that two energy is coming in trying to make sure that the divisions are being recognized, accepted, but also ended. And what I have seen just in my observations, and you could tell me if you've seen something different, is that it seems that as we evolve and we are ascending into a higher level of um, not just vibration, but also consciousness, that these ending of divisions is not choosing one side or the other. It's it's not standing in the middle and letting both of those extremes exist. It's um, pulling from those extremes the things that are working, the things that are beneficial, and reconciling or leaving behind the things that are not beneficial or that are harmful, and creating something brand new. And I think we're seeing that more and more just in our everyday life. That I don't know that we can create a new sense of community without getting rid of what's already there. Like these definitions have to change. They because as the definitions change, then the expectations change. Um, and this sense of mutual responsibility and fellowship, what that actually looks like changes as well. Let's see. Mm, Okay, so let's go back over to our whiteboard and we'll look at these definitions a little bit more vibrationally. I want to get some transitions like because of these game. What? That's not what I wanted there. I want to get some transitions like because of these game where like uh it's like a portal. So every time I change screens, I have to put up like the seizure warning. Oh, I don't think I want to give anybody seizures though. It sounds cool until you say it out loud. And then it's not cool. It's not cool anymore. Oops. Oh my gosh, my bad. That's bad. Okay, so let me get our definitions on here. So here's our first one where we have a community is a group of people connected by shared um, geography, beliefs, interests, or identity. Ooh, okay. I like that, Josh. Yes, yes. We need some peaceful sound alarms. And, well, I don't think it needs to be an or. I think it should be an and. I think we should have peaceful sound alarms and a theme song. But I sing so many songs, I don't know what that would be. It might change every time. Um, so are there any of these other words that stood out to you? Let me know in the chat and we'll mark them up. The one for sure that stood out to me is identity. And like I said, that's mostly because of we have a lot going on in Aries right now. And actually, I'll wait to see if you have any other words you want me to mark. But I think we could probably go to our astrology and look at what's happening in that Aries space. Um, because we have a lot, feels like we've had a lot going on in that Aries space, and especially in like the hip hop community too. So we'll look at that real quick. Um, let's see, what other ones are here that are, I think, important for us to look at? Oh my gosh, what's happening here? I did something to the chat and now I can't see you. I can't see you. Hold on. I'm going to fix it. Let me fix it. Okay, okay, okay. I think we're good now. Okay. I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay. See, this is what I get for trying to be fancy. It's been going so well. Um, yeah, so I think identity, now that I look at this again, so it's beyond just physical location. And so I think we also have to think about how this definition of community is now needing to change, where physical location isn't as important in community building anymore. where when we like I know when I think of community, I think of like um community schools, community church, community store, like, and that everybody that works within and is also lives within that community, and that's long gone. Long gone are the days where you would live and work in the same community that you live in. So I think we have to reconcile a little bit with this physical location, because we still have in this definition that physical location could potentially be part of how we're defining community. And I think it's still important, but maybe for different reasons. So, like when you are um, from a particular place, you would have a different kind of bond with other people that are from that area as well. Um, whether it's having a shared knowledge of the space or like a connection through the sports teams, which we are seeing actually right now with like the World Cup, um, but also in the United States, it's sports all the time, everywhere, always. But how now it's not as much the actual physical location, but as like your origins, like where do you come from, um, and what that means. But it also says here that it can be defined by mutual, and like this word mutual here because that indicates that it's a definite give and take, it's a back and forth. It's not one side giving and the other side not giving. Um, but that energetic exchange of the mutual support um, is something I think that also has to be defined. Like, not every community member can give mutual support in the same way. And nor should we, because we all have these very unique vibrational cores, and so we should be contributing energetically and vibrationally in very unique ways to the community. But I think it's kind of twofold also that we have to be able to give, um, and we have to be able to receive, but we also have to be able to see the value in both. Because when I think about it and I observe some of the communities that I'm in and um, communities around me, and that I have access to, it seems like it's not necessarily that it's one-sided, because then we're just getting into cult behavior. It's one-sided, but it's that the value is one-sided. Um, and the really strong communities or the places where there's a stronger foundation for real true community to build and grow, um, is where there's a mutual value. So I don't know that I would agree with, and you tell me what you think, that it's mutual support. I think support is important, but it's feeling more like it's value, like it's a mutual value, like you value your community and those within it, um, and you value what you give, um, and you give because you value the community, but also you value what you actually are getting back from the community. Because I think it's too easy nowadays also to just feel like it's one-sided because you don't value what you're actually getting back. So, didn't expect that to come out. That's interesting. But I do agree with, um, I said I wasn't going to be talking as much. And look at me, I'm like talking. But I think this is interesting. Um, this sense of belonging because and collective interaction. Because I think those are the things that people are regularly seeking as they try and find a community where yes they connect with a community and the people within that community around some shared beliefs and interests and identity, but it's really that sense of belonging, um, and having that interaction. It's like because when you have that collective interaction, um, you are not just getting the social aspects of community, but you are also um, you're also like with that collective interaction, it's the social piece, but there's something else that's there also, where it's like that's how we get our lessons. That's how we grow. That's how we can be challenged in all of the good ways to help push us to be the best versions of ourselves. Oh, yep, I saw there, Judy, that you have that collective interaction. Yeah. Okay, so let me come over back over to um this browser and actually um, make sure. It's so weird not saying anything. All right, I'm gonna keep trying to talk. Okay. All right, so now we will go to, yep, we got this up. All right. I'm doing way too much. All right, let me stop being fancy and we just go to our browser and we'll just use our usual. Um, let's do, so if you're ever looking for it, what you could do is do today's astrology is the search that I use. Um, oh yeah, boo bots. Somebody get it. Um, I like this AstroSeek, but if you do today's astrology, then you can get the astrology chart for the day. Okay, so let me copy this and bring it over to our whiteboard so we can mark it up. Because I think it's interesting that we're starting with this word and vibration of community in the same time as having this Neptune in Aries retrograde. Okay. And come back over here. Okay, so we have here the definition. A community is a group of people connected by shared geography, beliefs, interests, or identity. And we just had our, and actually, let me go chop up this image before we use it. But we just had our um, Neptune go retrograde in the area of Aries, which is the sign of I am or identity. And there we go. And here we go. All right, so here's our chart. And we've had a lot of activity in Aries in like the last 6 months or so. All right, so this is today's chart. Well, yeah, today's chart. This, oh wow, that's kind of creepy. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at the time and date it gave me because that's kind of creepy. Anyway, so where we want to look is right here. So this is the symbol for Aries. And Aries is the area of identity. And so we saw that part of our community definition is around shared identity. So, how you are defining your community is also partially how you are defining yourself. And so, our Neptune, which is the planet of illusion, but also dissolving illusion, is right here in Aries. So this is Neptune. So we need to be looking at what are the parts of our personal identities, but also of the community identity that actually is more of an illusion and it needs to be dissolved. Because this illusion vibration is neutral. So it's the building of the matrix to put you in a sense of illusion and have you in a dream state. But it also is the dissolving away of that illusion. And so, usually, when these planets first, especially these planets that are slower moving, so these more outer planets, so Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, they stay in signs for anywhere from 9, 10 years to up to 15 years. And so when they first move into a sign, um, we get a big, huge dose of their energy in that space. So Neptune only recently moved into Aries. So we still have a big, huge dose of that Neptune energy in that space. We also have in that Aries space with Neptune sitting right here. This is Saturn. And Saturn is about structure. It's about structure and it's about responsibility, so that accountability and responsibility that's part of being in community is here also. This energy of Saturn is also here. So this is responsibility. The other thing for hip hop in particular, so it would be interesting to go back and look at, so thinking about your lyrics. So anybody that has just come um, in my Linktree link, you can find the form where you could add lyrics to any song. Yeah, we focus on hip hop here, but you're welcome to add any song lyrics related to community for us to discuss later in the slide. Um, and because I said all that, I lost track. Oh no, I remember. I remember. So in the hip hop space, um, right here is Chiron. It's at 0 degrees Taurus, which means it just moved out of Aries. Chiron in Aries is the wound of identity. Both hip hop and the United States, US of A, both have Chiron in Aries. So they both have been experiencing um, this wounding and needing to recognize, take accountability and responsibility for the wounds that they have inflicted, but also taking responsibility to heal their own wounds. And so this has just come out of this space of Aries as well. So when we think about this shared identity of community, we right now have some pretty powerful energies around community and our definitions of community. And so this is probably why this is coming up and why we're needing to look at what is community really? What actually is community? And how do we define it? And how do we redefine it so that it can actually grow into being what we actually want um as community, what we want in our lives and in our reality, so that we're all getting that mutual support, the mutual benefits, the mutual value. The other thing that I think is important to point out is, you see this triangle that's happening here? What other color could I actually use here? Let's use pink. So you see this triangle right here. This is, so all of these lines are aspects. It's when it's connecting the energies of um, planets. So we're taking the energy of those planets and they are um, interacting with each other in very specific kinds of ways. And so, what we are seeing here is we have two trines. Um, and so we have two trines. A trine is an opportunity um, that you are able to take in that energy to be able to benefit from or use it in some way. Um, but you have to take action on it. You have to be intentional in how you're using those combined energies of those planets. And where we're seeing this trine, the other thing is, a lot of the times when we have a trine, a set of trines like this, when we have an opposition, so an opposition where we have the point here, when we would have an opposition where it's like exactly across, then that's when you get like this aspect that looks like a kite, and that's actually extremely powerful. It's extremely energetic because what it's doing is it's pushing like all of the energy, all of the planet's energy from the whole chart to this one point. And this one point right here, this is our Neptune. This is our Neptune in Aries that is dissolving away the illusions of identity, not just the identities of us as individuals, but those collective identities of the different communities that we're a part of, but also those collective identities of countries, but even of the whole world. So, how we are defining community and how we're moving in community is really taking in a lot of this energy. So we would get this kite formation when something that moves quicker, like the moon, so we have the moon here. The moon changes sign every 2 days. So if it's here in Taurus right now, and we say, okay, it's been there a day, then it's in Gemini 2, 4, 6, 8. So in about 10 to 12 days, the moon will be here. And the moon can bring this aspect, this kite aspect, to start pushing all of that energy towards that Neptune in Aries. So in the next 10 to 12 days, we could potentially have this be activated where now we're getting a whole lot of energy going towards the dissolving of illusions around identity, individual identity, um, and community identity and country identity, etc. The other points that are in here, like the other planets that are part of this, are really important also. So we first have over here on this side, we have Uranus. Yes, yes, you could say Uranus. We have Uranus and Mars here sitting together over here in Gemini. And Gemini is the sign of, we'll move this up a little bit so we can write some down here and we have it in the recording. Um, so Gemini is the sign of communication, but also it's like social communication. It's like the um, it's like the social, just the general social interactions. It's not necessarily the super deep communication. Oh, I was about to write community. Communication. There we go. Um, where that Gemini energy can go really deep, but that's not where it starts. And that's actually not where it prefers. It prefers to be in this like social communication energy where it is like the jokes and the social interaction and the lighthearted play is more of this Gemini. And we have this, the one that is really important is this Uranus that just moved into Gemini in June. And Uranus is the planet of unexpected changes, but also of innovation. So when we were looking at all of those ones, um, oh my gosh, I wrote like two words in one. Unexpected changes. So when we were looking at all of those different vibrations from the letters of community that were coming together to make up that larger vibration, we were seeing that there are fives in there. There are fives in there of changes. But with Uranus here in Gemini, um, part of this trine, it means that we should expect those changes to be unexpected. We should expect the unexpected, where because also Uranus is innovation. And being in this Gemini space, this is these changes in how we are communicating, changes in innovation or innovative ways to um, communicate in a social way within those communities. So I think that comes back to where um, we were looking at the definitions, and it had in there about physical location, where if physical location is um, not that it's not as important, it's just not as impactful in the building of community anymore, then um, how do we have that social communication, which is what you use to build up the interconnectedness and like the shared identity and the shared beliefs. That's how you even would know that you share beliefs with this community, is just with that general social communication. And so, as we are looking at how we are defining and redefining our communities, we would have to look at also how um, these ways of communicating, um, not just like in the technology we use, but in how that we even speak to each other and interact with each other. Because all of those words that we use, whether we are typing them or saying them, that is an energetic exchange. So, how are we making sure that our words and our social communication and energetic exchange through our communication is being changed and innovated in a way to elevate community, to help it grow in ways that it hasn't? Because remember that this Neptune in I need a different color. This Neptune over here in Aries, the last time Neptune was in Aries was in the 1860s. So you think about what was happening at that time. So even just in the United States, it was 1863, 62, 63 is when the 13th Amendment, the Emancipation Proclamation, was signed to free enslaved people. But it wasn't until 1865 when all of a sudden all of these people that were formerly enslaved are now being told that they are free. But where are the communities that they have been living in? They haven't had those communities. Those communities have been, um, you know, in division and broken up quite regularly. So we were in the same kind of period where it's like, okay, this is very much changing. There's big, huge changes around what community is, how it's defined, and how it works for us. So in 1865, it actually wasn't until way later, in like the 1920s, I believe, is where they there was actually a lot of movement out of the South. Yes, there were some people that, as soon as they knew that they could, were leaving to go to northern states and to Canada. Um, but that wasn't the norm. And I think part of that was because we were having to reinvent our identities of who we were and the identities of um, those communities, building the communities from scratch and defining what they were and what was important and how to have that mutual energetic exchange where everybody's contributing but also benefiting. Also, this Uranus and Gemini, it only comes to this position every 84 years. Um, So that's a big difference. And I think, let me see. Let's see. Let's take 2026 minus 84. So it'd have been the 1940s where it was here again, and then 1858. So right before Neptune moved into Aries in this same kind of time period is when Uranus would have been just moving. So it would have been 18, like the 18 late 50s. So we'll put 58 here. Um, and then again in the 1940s, like 1942. So this is the first time in a lot of years, in a lot of years, um, that we have had both of these planets not just in these signs, but in these signs together. And they are in this trine position where they are exchanging um, energy between them to give an opportunity to build something new. So Neptune is dissolving the illusions of how community was defined previously, along with this Saturn here of structure. And Uranus is opening up the space for innovation, for unexpected changes, and doing things in a new way in that social communication space. So that's one opportunity. The other opportunity is coming from over on this other side where, another color here. So at this point here, this is Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius over here, which is the sign of um, revolution and like power to the people. So we have Pluto, the planet of transformation, in the sign of Aquarius, which is all about the people, power to the people, and revolution. So we also have that as Neptune is dissolving these illusions around the identity, we have this transformation energy opening up a huge opportunity for revolution of the people. And Pluto, the last time Pluto was in um, Aquarius was 1777. 1777. So even many, many, many years past the other ones. So this is an unprecedented time for these energies to be working together in this way. And they we're seeing it come through as needing to use this to help look at the identity of ourselves, but also the identity of community. Wow, that's pretty cool. And now I think, well, let me see. Let me look at the chat. Does anybody have any of these other words that they want to look at or have questions about or have comments about or anything on this astrological chart. So now it's becoming very clear why we needed to look at this word community, because all of these astrological energies we're set up to be able to have everything that is needed to create something new. And that's amazing. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go and grab um our all right. I'm grabbing all of the lyrics. And actually, before I do that, if anybody would like to add add lyrics, go ahead and do that now. So if you have any lyrics, songs that are about community, around community, it's funny, I'm looking at the list and nobody even put the song Community, Jid's song Community um with clips. Um, but if you have any more entries, go ahead and put them in now. You can get to them get to that form with the link that is pinned, or through the QR code that's at the top left-hand corner. And I'll give you just a minute. I'll go get some water and let you fill more out. And then we'll put them into our wheel and see what else we can get. Mm, yes, yes, Josh. Okay, let me drink some water. Let me drink some water. Okay. But yes, let's look. Thank you for adding that because I agree. Let's whoa. Yes. Reciprocation. Yeah, and intentional presence. Wow, what good terms. I agree. I do think that those are things that are hindering yeah, hindering like the evolution of community. And how do you, Josh, see reciprocation and um, intentional presence within like what would it be ideally? Like what would it actually look like if it was in um, the community space the way that we would expect it to be? I like this intentional presence. I think that's a really good way of putting it. Well, and while you are typing that, one thing that I want to point out is that the word choice is really important and very telling. And this is part of why we want to look at lyrics as well. Because even here, where reciprocation, here with this RE, oh, just if you wanted to add anything, Josh, about reciprocation and intentional presence, like what would it actually look like if it was helping the community grow instead of hindering it? I hope that makes sense. Um, but this RE is 18 plus 5, which is 23. And 23 is the numerical vibration of the phrase I am, which we relate to identity. So here we are again with this vibration of the identity coming into the space of like, what is that shared identity within that community space? We have it again. Yes. Yes, please and thank you, right, Judy? Also with this IN, we have 9 plus 14, which also equals 23, which is I am and is related to identity. So vibrationally, both of these terms are related to our identity, how we are contributing our identity to the community space, but also how the community's identity is being shaped. So, what Josh said is they somewhat go hand in hand. I understand reciprocation isn't always equally feasible, but more people legitimately supporting each other with intention, yeah, only strengthens a community. Absolutely, Josh. Thank you for answering my crazy question. Because yes, because I not only having these both of these terms having that I am vibration embedded within here, um, but also thinking about that our individual identities are supposed to be contributing to the community identity. That's one of the things that we're supposed to be connecting on. But if we are not valuing all of the identities that come together to make up the identity of the community, then we could get caught up in this not having this reciprocal support or give and take. Or even just intentionality of actually thinking about how um, you are contributing to the community, but also what you're getting from the community. Because even in those moments where we may not agree with um, a member or multiple members within the community, it's still a space of opportunity for learning and growing. Because remember that we had in that vibration of community, the biggest vibrations that we saw throughout the breakdown of this word is that 3, where it's about growth. But if we think of the community as a beautiful bloom, um, that bloom isn't going to grow if we're not giving it both the water and the sunlight. If we are not working together to tend to that space. But that also comes back to needing to have shared definitions of what community is and what the um, expectations are within that community. So, how are we even defining, um, you know, having that even reciprocal exchange of energy? Yes, you did. You did pick two contrasting flowers, Josh. But it's so interesting that that keeps coming up of this growth. because remembering that that vibration is neutral. So that growth could be in multiple directions. That growth could be the growing of the community in a very beautiful, substantial way. But it also could be like digging pits for each other. And so then the parts and pieces of the community are falling off. So that's interesting, huh? All right, so oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Where's space? Where's space? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go and grab, so hopefully everybody has gotten in their lyrics that they would like to have included. And I'm gonna grab it and get it into our wheel. Yes, you're so right. That poppy flower is exactly what put Dorothy to sleep in The Wizard of Oz, where it is like um, that side of Neptune of creating the illusion. Um, Putting you in a dream state is also Neptune. Isn't that interesting? Like, look at how all of that is coinciding without us even trying. All right, let me grab these. Oh, these are good ones. Okay, so yeah. Oh my gosh, Josh. Okay, I gotta tell everybody on YouTube what you said. So, Josh said, fun fact, the snow that fell on them. So when Dorothy fell asleep in The Wizard of Oz, then the snow fell, and that's what woke them up. But Josh said the fun fact, the snow that fell on them was actually industrial asbestos. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness, that's funny. uh, yep, I like Josh's fun facts. Yeah, the early 1900s will do that to you, right? All right, so let's see if we can load this up. Ew, I don't like how this looks. Let me see if I can. We're learning here. So let me see if I can grab this part. All right, let's try this. Oh, let me put the wheel up so you can see what I'm doing. Um, okay, cool. I think that'll work. So, all right, now let me put the wheel up. So this is our lyric wheel. And so what I'm going to do is paste in the spreadsheet options here. Yeah, it's fancy, right? So paste those in and then we'll load those submissions. And then we can always add new ones here. So I'll put vibrant numerals. We'll do JID clips. The song is community. let me go grab the bar. Um, I've been working really hard to put together these kinds of wheels and calculators for us. So hopefully you'll see more of these come out. Um, that we can start working with in all of our lives. But also, I'll have a whole bunch of these um, in Patreon. So once that's all up, we'll be able to use that too. So then you'll have calculators that you can be able to do some of the same calculations that I do. So hopefully we can start going more, even more in depth. Um, all right, trying to find the lyric I was thinking about because, like, this whole song is called Community, but I was thinking about the lyric where I forget who it is. Is it Malice? Is it Malice's verse? Um, oh no, here it's in Pusha T's verse. Okay. So I'll come over here and add it. You'll see it. So I immediately thought of this lyric where Pusha T in this is talking about, he says the apartments, the projects, the ghetto, it's all the same shit. And I like to add that one just because I think the definitions of um, community are all embedded in that. And you notice how sometimes we will use a different word, but we have the same definition. So we went from like talking about community to, excuse me, talking about like your neighborhood, your hood, your the projects, where you live. Um, So the other thing that's kind of cool up here, um, oh, okay, cool. Okay, I like that, Josh. Um, I wanted you to see this too because this is fancy. Because we'll use this same wheel every week. So every week, we'll be able to change the word and it does the calculation for you of what the word is up here. So I don't know if you can see up there. Okay, 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 okay. All right, it's cool. So then over here on the side is where we can see everything that was put in. Um, and so these are all the things that we have in our wheel. And then we will give it a spin. All right, so let's see. Let's see which of these lyrics we should start with. Um, we probably will have time to look at more than one, but let's see. Let's see what the universe says. So here we go. Woo! There we go. So we're going to start with Eminem Till I Collapse. And um, May 26th. Okay, that's interesting. So look, okay, what I'm going to do is let me grab a screenshot of this and I'll take it over to our whiteboard so we can look at it closer together and start doing some of the breakdown. Yeah, so many fives, right? um, Let's see. I think this will be the best way to do this. And so what I will do is I will start putting the link to that form, I'll probably put it in there for the next week, maybe on Saturday. So when we meet on YouTube on Saturdays, um, I can remind you that it's in there and I can let you know what our word is for Thursday. So then you can start putting stuff in earlier, and collecting stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this will work good. So let's close the cool wheel. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That was cool. That's cool. All right, that's good that it worked because then that gives me encouragement to do some more because I want to do more of those kind of interactive things. Even maybe putting something together like that for our Wednesdays when you want to put in your words and your um, numbers and look at it deeper. Okay. And all of this will be saved too. So we'll be able to go back and we can look at any that weren't selected and see how we want to look at it again. So this has, oh, see, I don't know if this is, this part I'll have to fix, but it was supposed to be calculating this for us, but let's go ahead and just look at it ourselves. Um, oh, let me go look at, because this one, so this one is from Judy. Thank you, Judy. Oh, I love that. Though that's actually a really good one, the Cheers song. I'll leave the form open. So if there's more that you want to add for community, you can, because we'll have a new form for each one. So you can add more to the community one if you want to, and we can look at it. All right, so this was given to us. By Judy. The artist is Eminem. The song title is Till I Collapse. Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. And let me grab the lyrics and we'll look at that. Good one. Okay. So first, let's look at the artist's name because we know that whenever um, we speak words, whoever speaks those words, they're adding those vibrations to that space. And so, Eminem, and Eminem is E is 5. So it's 5 plus 13 plus 9 plus 14 plus 5 plus 13. So we do see those double threes in here, just like in community. Um, and we see where we have the five, those double fives in here as well. So already we're getting some of those contributions to the word and the vibration community just from his name. And Eminem is 50. He's not age 59. This adds up to 59. Don't be ridiculous. I can't even imagine Eminem as old as he is now. Especially not like can you imagine some of these hip hop greats like being 80 years old? That's weird. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop. Um, but this adds up to 14, where 14 is this mix of energies. And it's interesting to think about Eminem as an artist and as part of that hip hop community where it was very much like a mix of uh does he belong or doesn't he? And so then having that four, where it's the stability and the foundation of the community, um, but could potentially be creating walls that aren't allowing um, new people, new thoughts, new ideas, new ways of doing things into the space. Hmm, okay. I'm feeling what the universe is putting down. So then, the song title. Oh, hi, Slay Queen. It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yes, I now have a new live on Thursdays. This is the first one, and we are going to be here late night for us, but this is early morning for you, isn't it? So maybe we'll be able to see you more. Thank you so much for popping in. All right, so till I collapse is 20 plus 9 plus 12 plus 12 plus 9 plus 3 plus 15 plus 12 plus 12 plus 1 plus 16 plus 19 plus 5 is 145. And it's interesting to see we have that 14 in here again. So we have this mix of energies. Um, and again, it's so interesting to think about. Um, oh, okay, good. I'm glad this is a perfect time. Good. Well, then maybe we'll see you more. That'd be exciting. Um, so in both places in the name and in the title of the song, we're seeing this mix of energies that like don't necessarily come together, but they belong together. This is like vinegar and oil. Like you can't mix them enough to actually make them come together, but they are needed. They're both needed to be in that space together. And with this song title, we're seeing where Elwa in his name too, we have this five of change, where his expression, because it's coming from him, and uh, the song title, in this space of um, community and thinking about what community is and how we're defining it, Eminem with Till I Collapse is bringing in this vibration of change with these fives, but then also this mix of energies where it's like there's a definite contrast in these energies that aren't able to come together necessarily, but they belong together. And so, how do we open up our community spaces and our community definition to make sure that we are allowing for this movement of the new to be able to move in, that we're not being so rigid? And that's hard, especially in the hip hop space, as we know, because hip hop is one of those spaces, similar to other oppressed and marginalized communities, where so much has been taken that hip hop is really quick to put up walls. And it is out of protection. It's trying to make sure that no more is taken, that it's still able to maintain its identity, and outsiders or outside of the community would not be considered um, assuming their identity or taking on their identity. But at the same time, if we're too rigid with that, now we're not allowing for true community members to be able to move into the space and add and contribute change to the community. Because remember that all of these vibrations that we had of this one word community, um, the one that we saw most often is the three of growth. And if we want to grow the biggest badass tree, we have to be willing to allow new branches to come off of the side. We have to. And so how do we make sure that our definition um of community is allowing for that flexibility of growth? So I think this is very interesting that this is what came up on our random number wheel for us to look at in the discussion of community, because there's all of this energy of, can we have this mix of energies within the same space? And can we allow that mix of energies to help um, change the community for the good? Interesting. Interesting. So a little bit of recap for Slay Queen or anybody else that is just popping in. What we're doing is we're just taking one word. And so the word today and this week is community. And we're doing a deep dive on um, what are the vibrations of that word? How are we defining it? And how is that definition shaping who we are and how we're interacting in the world around us? And so we started with community. Yeah. Hmm. This is good. All right. Let me see if I can get, because I want to get your whole lyric, Judy, so that we can look at that. Let's see if I can get it. Aha, I did. Okay. So Slay Queen, if you have any songs or lyrics that relate to community, that you would like to be included in our next spin of the wheel, you could just go to that pinned link. So it's my link tree. And the very first link on there is the form where you can fill out the form. And it doesn't have to be hip hop, it could be any music genre, but we want it to be focused on community, because we'll spin the wheel one more time. But let's look at these lyrics now. Yeah, and I think this is like the big point, Judy, is that the way these vibrations move and the messages and the lessons we are supposed to be getting um really are around us quite regularly, and we just need to pay attention. Mm, Yeah. Wow. So, Judy, do you want to share with us um, why you picked this particular lyric in our discussion of community? Because I'm getting a few things, but I'm curious to know um, why this lyric? Like, what struck a chord for you? What resonated? Oh, thanks for being here, Josh. It was so fun having you. I'll make sure the replay is available somewhere. So while Judy is typing away, um, I think it's interesting how oh, okay, there you go. So Judy says over on Twitch, I feel the energy of together, moving as one. Yeah, yeah. Because that's definitely like when we look back at, where is it? Our definition of community, but also where we've looked at, let me go grab it. We looked at the etymology and like the core meaning of the word um, community, and that's where we had that together. Yeah, right there. And so it's interesting then, I like that because then the other thing that I was feeling from these vibrations is where, oh my gosh, we just looked at how Eminem and Till You Collapse are bringing that 14 of mix in here. And so even just like having left and right in here are, this is a mix. Like these are very different. They're opposites, but you need both. You have both here. Also, some of these words trigger me to think. So like feel tired, feel weak. Um, and like getting motivation. A lot of these are coming back to some of what we're defining, how we're defining a community member, or when you go to your community. So when you are feeling these things, you should be able to go to your community to be able to get that motivation. But also, as a community member, you you don't give up and you make sure that you are providing some kind of mutual value. Mm, interesting. Anybody see anything else? And then we'll go spin the wheel again. Oh, I gotta get Slay Queen's responses. Make sure I have them all in there. Um, oh my gosh, I have so many screens open. I'm trying to be so fancy and it's working out right now, but still, it's a little bit scary. Okay, cool. So, um, let's spin our wheel again and yeah, we do. We love us some fancy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back over to our wheel and we'll spin again, and then that'll give Slate Queen and anybody else that wants to add to the wheel a little bit of time to be able to add their lyrics, and then we'll spin it again so we can look at 3. So here is our wheel. Let's go ahead and give it another spin. See what we get. Oh, it's the one I picked, which is cool. Okay. Let's look at it. It's what the universe said. Let me get us our screenshot of it, and then we will chat. All right, so let's grab this. Yep. Community. All right. All right, so let's turn this off and go back over here. Woo-wee! Look at me doing all the things. All right, so for this one, why? Whoa, whoa! Stop being crazy. Okay, there we go. So this is the song community with it's JID song or JID song, and it's featuring clips on there. So we already know, because we've been looking at it all evening, all night, all morning for some of you, that community is 133. And I wonder if these calculations are right. I don't know. I got to look at the way these are calculating because they got the song right. Maybe I got the artist right. Well, look. Um, so we already know how this is contributing because it is actually the word community. So then let's look at the artists, and we'll look at so JID is 10 plus 9 plus 4, which gives us 23, which we've been talking about, where 23 is the numerical vibration of the word I am, which is directly related to identity. And we've been talking about how identity, this is why the universe picked this, I guess, is a big thing of like, how does our identity contribute to the identity of the community, but also how does the community identity impact our personal identity as well? Because you should have both intact. You should be able to have a strong sense of self as an individual and be able to stay in your identity at the same time as being part of um, and contributing to the community identity. And that community identity should be able to be strong and thriving as well. But as either one of those changes, that's where we can get some of those divisions where these twos are wanting to end the division. So these twos in the vibration are wanting these divisions to end. But when we start getting any kind of friction between our personal identity and then the identity of the community, that's where we can have some potential division. Because even like our set of ethics and morals of what we believe to be right and wrong is part of our identity. And so if we are seeing within the community that something is happening that is conflicting with our personal morals and ethics, now that can create some friction that could create a division within that community space. But there's all of these twos here that are wanting to end the division to keep the community intact. But we have to tap into that energy to be able to do that. So that already is interesting. So if we just look at JID with community. So if we just take the 23 plus 133, this just in itself is the phrase I am community. So this is the embodiment, even vibrationally, of that combination of individual identity within the community identity and making sure that those are coinciding. So 23 plus 133 is 156. And this 56 is that light and healing. But if you remember where we saw this, 56 is also the word cult, where we were looking at what is the difference between community and cult. So, as we have this JID energy coming in to the community space, like when we have this I am identity coming into the community space, if the community identity is overshadowing your individual identity, but also if it's the other way around, if your personal identity is overshadowing the community identity, now you can have some interesting hangs happening. Yes. Oh, hey, Cousin B is right. Don't be a stan. But isn't that interesting that here is where it's starting to come in, where when you have that combination of your personal identity with the community identity, we get this vibration of this cult, of the word cult. So when your identity in some way becomes too engrossed in the community or in the leader of the community, now you acting kind of cultish. You acting kind of cultish. We don't like that. Don't do that. But let's see what happens when we add the vibrations of clips in here. Because now, because they are contributing to this overall vibration, they also are going to impact what this overall vibration is. So clips is 3 plus 12. Oh, I gotta write it small. 3 plus 12 plus 16 plus 19 plus 5. Okay, so they're adding more of that growth with both the 3 and the 12. Um, they are bringing some end to the cycles, but in a way of change with the 5. And this actually adds up to 55. So Clips now is bringing this energy and vibration of change, but remembering that 55 is the numeric vibration of the word karmic. So it's not just regular change, it's karmic change. It's the return of energy that is now forcing this change to happen. It's like history is returning, history is coming back around and requiring there to be a change. Um, and so then if we look at putting both, what color now? If we put JID, so 23 plus Clips is 55, now we're getting 78. So what this now, so up here we had, when we had just JID with community, we had I am community, but here we have I am karmic change. So now you are being the change that you want to see within your community. So by adding that energy, by adding that vibration of Clips in there, now it's putting it in a place where you can help facilitate the change that needs to happen in that space. Also, when we take that 78 of all the artists together and add the 133 of community, now we're getting to 11. And so it's now telling this fuller story of taking the divisions that were caused, because this 11 is division, it's duality, it's polarization. So it's taking the division that was caused by having your personal identity connected to community identity in an unhealthy way, whether that's unhealthy in how you are valuing the community or not valuing, or how the community is valuing your identity or not valuing you, but also if you are assuming the identity of the community and becoming more cult-like. But a cult also is very reliant on one individual vibration, because that's why you have the cult leader. And so now that's the other part that is now creating some of this division. But we have it where this division is here, but we recognize the division and then we lead right into ending the division with this too. And by recognizing where this division came in and how it was created and where it came from, but also figuring out how to end it, allows there to be more stability. So by recognizing that there could be these parasocial relationships between community identity and individual identity that could cause some divisions and cause some harm, by accepting that they're there, but then also putting in the energy and the effort to end those divisions. And I don't think it matters how they end, but that they end in a way that they're not coming back again. It's not history repeating itself. So, ending that division in a way where you're not having history repeat itself is actually adding to the stability of the community. And I picked this particular verse. Well, I kind of told you already when I put it in, but I chose this verse because I just thought it was interesting having these different terms that were used for community. So, ghetto, projects, apartments, um, and how the terms that we use tell us a lot about how we're defining our communities. Because even when community is valued for us, if we are being put in an oppressive state, we can be a strong community and love our community, but still be depressed and um, feel not valued or appreciated, even within our communities. But that's because of how the outside world is viewing and valuing or not valuing that community. And that causes division as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go check and see if we have any new entries. Okay. Um, I don't see any new ones. So I am going to leave that form open, and every single week we'll have a new form with a new word. And so we'll have the forms. I'll open up the forms earlier than I did since it was our first day today. It just, woo, excuse me, opened up right before here. But I'll try and get those forms opened up on like Saturday. So then I can remind you that they're in there. And so then you have almost a full week to be able to put in your songs and your lyrics for the word. I think also we, well, actually, I can tell you. Um, so, oh, did you put yours in? Okay. Did you hit submit? Because I don't see it. Make sure you hit submit. Make sure you hit submit so I have it in there. And I'll go look and see. Um, and while you're doing that, so then our next word. I think I'll announce what our next word is on Saturday when I open up the form, because I have a couple of options, a couple of words that I'm thinking about, but let me wait and see. Okay, you did? Okay, let me make sure. I don't see it. Oh my goodness. Well, if you want to put it into the chat, I can. Oh, wait, it is here, but why don't I see it? I see it one place, but not another. Oh, okay. I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. You did it right. You did it right. Um, yes. Yep, it's in here. Okay, cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave that form open. So add more. And then on Saturday, when we meet, while Slay Queen is sleeping, unfortunately. But maybe I could start early enough where it could be at least before you go to bed. um, we can spin this wheel a couple more times for the Saturday live. And then next week I will um, we'll do some more. Cool. Okay, this was fun. I hope you all enjoyed this. I enjoyed this greatly. And so this will be at least the next 23. See, 23 I am. Next 23 Thursdays, we will be looking at all of these different terms. We'll be doing deep dives into one word. If you have any words that you want to look at, just let me know. We'll see if it's in there. Um, yeah, this is great fun. Okay, let me put our little statement up so we can close out our space. And there we go. So this is to close out our space. We opened our space to create the right vibrational atmosphere for our discussion. And so now we're going to close it out. So here we go. Please apply the vibrational healing you take with you and come back soon for another healing dose. Always remember, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. You are love, you are healing, you are whole. Thank you so much for being here. Good night to some of you. Good morning and good day to others. And I'll see you all next Thursday. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, for our regular Friday live on YouTube, but in this way on next Thursday. All right, have a good one, everyone. Thank you.